All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. We're going to talk about Tony Ferguson right now because we got interesting things to consider. What happens if he wins? What happens if he loses? Why is it likely that he would win or lose in this fight? Because there's a lot of new data points for us to consider. A lot. Like a lot, right? And Tony Ferguson is an exciting, I don't care who you are, what your level of interest in the UFC is. I'm telling you right now, Tony Ferguson is a fascinating guy to think about in the UFC and to watch. When I was at UFC 274, okay, I've been to a lot of, hang on, I'm sorry. Before I jump into this, if you like content, go ahead and subscribe. Ring the bell and tell all your friends. Now, sponsor of this video is Yo Kratom because they are my favorite sponsor because I use their stuff all the time along with Sheath underwear. But today it's Kratom, Yo Kratom, YOKRATOM, $60 kilograms, cheapest Kratom you're going to find online and the highest quality for the price. Exact same quality, literally 1/5 of the price is what you get in the store. You know, I'm going to do one video today about who Nate is going to fight next. You should definitely watch that also. Okay, here's the deal. For Tony Ferguson, I want to tell this story real quick before I get into this upcoming fight, why it's different. You know, well, I mean, there's a lot of reasons, and then what happens afterwards if he wins or if he loses. So, I mean, anybody who watches this channel consistently knows I've been to a lot of UFC shows this year. A lot. 270, 271, 272, 273, 274. Then UFC 277, UFC Austin, and UFC 278. Okay? So that's 8 shows I've been to this year. And there's a lot of things that happen, you know, when you're in person that are different from being on TV. But there's only one person, one, not two, one, where someone came out and as soon as they were in the octagon, my hair stood on end because I was like, holy shit, that's fill in the blank. And like the way that I had envisioned them in general, seeing them in person literally made my hair stand on end. And that was Tony Ferguson at 274. I will put that on my kids. Like where I looked, I was like, oh my God, bro. Like all these guys are killers, dude. Like they're all killers. They're all killers, obviously. Okay. And if you haven't gone to a lot of live shows, they're people that you see through the box, you know, like you see them through the box. It is what it is. Like they're I don't know, celebrities, however you view people that are like kind of not real until you see them in person. And when you see them in person, you're usually like UFC guys, you're surprised by their size, usually one thing or the other. The only guy literally where I looked and he like Tony got into the octagon and he turned around and he had his tattoo on his back. That's the fucking boogeyman right there. It was, again, like I'm probably not doing a good job describing this experience, but he's the only guy where it made my heart like go, holy shit. He's the scariest dude on earth is my point. Like that guy is the scariest dude on earth. I've said about him a million times. My favorite thing to say about Tony Ferguson is like the way I view him, all these guys are savages, right? Like you just total savages in all these different ways. Just on the weight cuts alone, dude, like just weight cuts. Get in the octagon, fight these trained killers in front of the world. Like all of it's insane. But Tony Ferguson, the way I view him is I'm like, he's basically like if you went in a time machine back to like 1410 and went straight into like an Aztec or like Mayan, you know, like city. And you were like, hey, who's the most feared warrior in this country? And they were like, you know, Tony Ferguson. And then you walk down some path that's lined with like the heads of vanquished warriors, like literally just like on like heads on sticks. As far as you could see, every single dude he's ever killed, he decapitated, put their head on a stick, and it led to his house. And then you get there, and somehow in 1410, he's still wearing sunglasses. You still can't see his eyes. You know, he comes out and he's wearing sunglasses, haven't even been invented yet. And you're like, and he's literally like, he's born to kill. He's an absolute savage, dude. And you're like, hey, man, so this is going to sound a little weird. I don't know how I speak Spanish or whatever, you know, Mayan languages you speak, but I can take you to the future. And in the future, you can get anything that you want. I tell him all about the goodies in the future, all the ladies and all this stuff. Not that he's lacking there in, Mayan City, but also, you know, You'll get to go in the cage and you'll get to do it in front of, you'll get to do it with 2 million people watching you. And I'll have to actually explain to him what the number 2 million means. And you'll get to fight in an octagon in front of that many people. And I convinced this fucking Mayan warrior that had killed more people than anybody had ever, more than any other warrior in history, and put their heads on sticks to come back to the future and fight in the UFC. Like, that's how I view him. Is like, that's who he is. Like, if he was born in 1410, that's who he is, And like, he's like mysterious. Like, you can't make heads or tails of him. I know people who know him, like I've talked to people who like have hung out with him, and all of them have said that. They're like, he's like, it's hard to like, it's hard to explain. Like, he's hard to like connect with. And I think like, that's like perfect. Like, good. That adds to the mystique. He's the scariest fucking dude on earth. And the fact that he's lost 4 fights, so what? So what, dude? As far as I'm concerned, he's lost 1 fight, because the other 3, he lost decisions, like he lost rounds. He never tapped out. Charles Oliveira had him in a fully extended arm bar that would have broken anyone's arm in half, and he didn't tap, and he just took it, He got knocked unconscious by Michael Chandler, okay? He's never given up. He's never tapped, none of that. He got knocked out by a front kick that would have knocked anyone out. Even that is like inadvertent. That's like inadvertent. He never quit. He's never quit, dude. So he's a guy who's slowed down just a little bit, and he's lost rounds in the first 3 to grapplers, like he lost them to grapplers, and then a dude decapitated him, but he looked good in that fight. And like, if you look at the UFC as like a pure sport, it's just a sport to you, like this is just a sport that you watch, just like football, then yeah, like Tony Ferguson looks like, a team that used to be a playoff contender that's not anymore. Okay. If you look at this as a sport, but kind of not really, like it's a sport, but it's also like organized samurai warfare, or organized Aztec warriorship, then you look at it differently. Then you look at it like I do. And where you look at Tony and you're like, dude, like I want Tony in the UFC. I want Tony to win this fight bad, real bad, dude. Like real fucking bad. I want him to win because of the experience. I'm telling you that, like seeing him in person, I can't do justice to what it was like to see him personally. And there's not another fighter that was like that. Not one, 0, no one else. Okay. 8 events. And there was no one else where I was like, holy shit. And so now he's fighting at 170, dude. Like now he's fighting at 170. That's a big difference, dude. Right? Like it's a huge difference. Huge. He doesn't have to cut in an additional 15 pounds. Now that could help him or hurt him. It certainly should help his chin. He's not going to take any shots from Li Jingliang that are going to rival the front kick that he ate from Michael Chandler. Like that's a nuclear strike. That doesn't matter if you're 55, 70, whatever. Front kick to your chin that lands like that. I mean, Li Jingliang has a lot of power, right? But he's slower. He's slower than the guys that he's been fighting at 55. And he's definitely not going to take him down. So now Tony's going to get to fight a guy where the grappling is a non-issue. And maybe Tony might grapple Li Jingliang. Maybe. So like if people are watching this just thinking that this is like, this is Tony Ferguson's swan song. Let's all get a good seat to watch the last fight of his career. I don't think that's what you're looking at. I think he's got a good chance to win. I really do. I really hope he wins. Now, again, taking a knockout like that, you don't know. He's 38 years old now. You just don't know. He might get touched and get knocked out. Maybe. You know what I mean? Like maybe. It's possible. I hope not. I really do. But it's possible. He's training at Jackson Wink. I don't know what that will have to do with anything, but like, maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be, I mean, you figure a guy who's 38 years old that's been fighting as long as he has, their skill set is probably their skill set, and you don't really want to mess with too much stuff. But 170 against a guy who's not going to grapple. I mean, I think he's got a good shot to win. We'll see. Now, if he loses, that's not good. That's 5 in a row. If he loses by knockout, that's really not good. He's 38 years old. That's the thing, dude. And everyone knows they've got an expiration date. It just is what it is. There are no, It's the one thing, like, dude, I really honestly wish that they would bring back TR. I wish they would bring back hormone replacement. I just do, like, and I know there's a lot of guys that would disagree with me on that. But like, and I'm just talking purely as a fan. I know why it's not probably the right thing to do, because then you put these guys in a position where they kind of have to take it to be able to compete, you know? But like, dude, I like that Randy Couture's fighting when he's 48. I want these guys fighting into their 40s and being awesome. You know? I don't like watching these guys. I don't like watching guys, you know, like, I don't like looking at a guy who's still really good, but they're 36 and you're kind of like, oh man, it's really sad to know that no matter what happens in 2.5 years, this guy's career's over. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess it'd probably be the same when they're 42, but nonetheless, like, you know, give me the extra time, man. Give me the extra time. Anyway, but if he wins, different ball game. New weight class, coming off a win. Exciting. Against a guy who's good. I mean, Li Jingliang, he won his last fight by knockout. He lost to Hamzat, but he won his last fight before that by first round knockout. Then he lost to Neil Magny by decision. And then before that, he won 3 in a row. Like, he's no joke, dude. I think that's why they have Tony fighting him specifically, is A, because there's no threat of grappling, which is fucking crazy that like they need to protect Tony from grappling. But also because he's got a rank. He's got a number next to his game. So like if Tony wins, they know they got limited time with him. If they want to have him make a run, they need to do it now. You know what I mean? Like, so they have to give him someone that has a number, and that's why he's fighting him. But anyway, I hope he wins. I love you guys. Peace.